How's everyone? Grant here. Welcome back to the channel and happy iPhone day to me. Now I know I'm very late to the party here and I have not been able to unbox this yet, but I'm finally going to unbox this, the iPhone 8 Plus. I've not even seen this in stores. I'm not physically seeing the iPhone 8 Plus in store in person. Obviously I've got the gold version here. I've not seen that. But let's get price out of the way because that is probably the number one spec for a lot of people. And as you can see here, I've got the 256 gig version, and that's $949 base, plus our great California tax, for a grand total of $1,036.78. Ouch, that hurts just saying it, but it is what it is. It's basically a $1,000 phone, and so if people were talking about the iPhone X and saying spending $1,000 on that phone, folks, if you get the iPhone 8 Plus 250 gig version plus tax, you are in the territory of a $1,000 phone. Congratulations. And that being said, I'm not going to let that spoil this unboxing for me because I only get to do this once a year for iPhones, and I'm going to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. I do like how Apple is including this pull tab now, so we don't have to use unboxing knives or anything like that. Barbaric. It's very easy to unbox this thing. And let's go ahead and open it. And I really don't like how they don't show the phone up top anymore. You're really expecting to see the phone. Instead we get this card. So let's pull that up with your paperwork and stickers. I'm going to be sure that that's the case. So that is just some paperwork there. SIM eject tool from Apple, how to eject your SIM, and some other info there. And your great Apple stickers, still white, not color coded to your phone, unfortunately. But really quickly, there is the phone, and as you notice, the box matches the phone color. So it's kind of like the cream colored tint on this box. It's not a white box, so that's kind of cool. Nice little touches, and also you see that gold shining iPhone sign there. So it's color coded to your phone color. That's nice. And there's the phone there, and let's feel this. Wow. That's got some weight to it, I gotta admit. That's probably that glass back. There it is. Adding that bit of weight to it. So first impressions, it feels a little bit heftier than my iPhone 7 Plus, and I've been using that for a while now. I pretty much use that almost daily. I always use an iPhone and an Android, and so I know, this immediately feels a little bit heavier. And I gotta say, first impressions on this gold color, it's pretty cool. I was gonna opt for the silver color because that looked pretty clean, looked pretty nice with that, white front face, with pretty much a white looking back and just that silver trim. That looked pretty nice, but gold is old. The old gold is new again. So, Apple's bringing back that old gold color, but they can't just bring back gold. They no longer have rose gold, so they kind of have this more bronze-ish kind of gold. It's not that yellowish gold. It's not rose gold. It's kind of a bronze-ish gold to me. Nice trim there, kind of copperish, actually. First impressions under this light. And this is kind of almost a vintage kind of back here. It's not gold. It's not really pink. It's not really orange. It's kind of a milky kind of bronze color to it. It's kind of got a vintage look to it to me. And that camera ring, color matched to the color there. So I'm liking that. And I think the ring around the home button is color matched as well. So let's get this plastic off. Oh, beautiful. So I love how Apple does that too. Nice one-piece rip-off. You don't have stickers on both the front and the back. And I gotta say, the general aesthetic, yes, has not changed. If I just looked at this from the front, it is definitely an iPhone. The front has not changed, but true Apple fashion, that ring matches the color code, so that's very nice. And I gotta say, first impressions, I am digging this copper color. We'll see when I get in sunlight or other lighting conditions, how it changes. But under these LED lights, I like that copper. I don't really like that bright yellow gold, so I'm definitely liking this gold. And that Apple logo there, I think that's under the glass, so hopefully that is, and it won't scratch up like how it has in the past. So that's one positive to having glass, and of course with glass you've got wireless charging. Welcome to 2017 Apple. And the rest of the box is the usual stuff you get from Apple. You get the kind of, let's just say it's a lame charging plug, very slow charging plug here. I don't know why I don't give you the fast charger in the box. I know other people have said the same, but really, it's got fast charging this time. Give us a fast charger for $1,000, man. Would have been nice. Your typical AirPods in this cardboard plastic, no longer that nice plastic case we used to get. Your headphone adapter, lightning to headphone adapter, because this still does not have the headphone jack. And unfortunately, it still does have a lightning port. With fast charging, if you want it, you have to get that Type-C brick that is available for the MacBooks. And then because of that, it has a Type-C port coming out of it. You've got to get the Type-C to Lightning adapter cable. You got to buy both those things to get fast charging. And I don't know why Apple just would not have gone to Type-C and just given up Lightning. They've got Type-C on their MacBooks. I don't know why they wouldn't just go to Type-C here so you can have a standard Type-C cable. They're holding on to Lightning probably because of accessory makers, licensing out the Lightning technology to accessory makers. I'm sure that's a moneymaker for Apple. They don't really want to give that up on their biggest seller, the iPhone. Would have been nice if they transitioned over in the iPhone 10 or the X, whatever you want to call it. I think that still has a Lightning connector, unfortunately. Would have been nice if they just made a clean break with a design as well as a Type-C connector in that one, but that's just wishful thinking. And of course, you have your standard Type A USB to Lightning headphone cable, or cable that you always get with all your iPhones. So that's it for the unboxing portion. Let's go ahead and get this thing set up. So you've reached the main screen here. In typical Apple fashion, you've got hello in many languages. And I've not tried iOS 11 because I've not upgraded my iPhones or my iPads to iOS 11. I wanted to try iOS 11 brand new on brand new hardware that it's meant to be running on. And I haven't even tried any kind of iOS beta. So this is going to be all new for me. So let's see if the setup has changed here in iOS. Press home to open. Okay. We'll hit English. And this is the unlocked version, so that's why no SIM was inserted. It's the unlocked version straight from Apple US. And of course, you need a SIM required to activate your iPhone. For whatever reason, we cannot get through the setup without inserting a SIM, so I'll pause the video and I'll be right back. So we've got our SIM card inserted. We're going to try this again. Okay, so we can set up Touch ID, so let's kind of see how long this takes here. So we'll set this up in real time so you can see. It's about 7 to 8 taps there. And it wants me to adjust my grip, so we'll do that. A few more taps and done. Cool, create a passcode. So now I've got to enter in a verification code if I want to restore from iCloud. I'll do that right now. Okay, so now that took a while. That took a couple minutes. And I can select my settings from my backup now. Okay, so now I've set this all up. It took a little while because I restored from iCloud, so that definitely took several minutes there. But we're back all set up here, and it's just restoring a whole bunch of apps right now. But what I really want to do, since this now has a glass back and wireless charging, is test out wireless charging, and this is going to be awesome. We've got my Samsung fast charger. I'm going to throw an iPhone on the Samsung wireless charger, and there you go, wireless charging. So as you can see, charging up. So wireless charging, nice feature. Unfortunately, it's probably going to take forever to charge up the iPhone here. And that's because it doesn't have fast charging, wireless charging like Samsung, which definitely improves the charging speed. So while convenient, it's going to take a while to charge this way. So maybe just best for kind of overnight charging wirelessly. Just throw this onto your nightstand or whatever else before you go to bed. No fumbling in the dark, so that's definitely convenience, but it's definitely going to take a while. I wish they had fast wireless charging. I'm thinking a lot of people, when they start using their new iPhones, are going to dig the wireless charging because it's kind of cool, just like how we did with Android when we first got it. But after a while, I think they're going to realize it's going to take too long and they're going to rather plug in. But maybe not, because Apple iPhones, they take a long time to charge up even when they're plugged in. So if you only charge up overnight, I don't think it's a big deal, but really fast wireless charging would have been nice. But it is nice that Apple chose to use a standard wireless charging technology like Qi. So it's good that they went with a industry standard and didn't try to invent their own. So good on Apple for that. And like most people are pointing out, we suspect that there'll be a ton of Qi chargers popping up at Starbucks and everywhere else now that iPhones have wireless charging. So that is kind of a positive, You've got wireless charging in your phone, and whether you got an Android phone or a brand new iPhone, you should start to see a lot of wireless chargers in public places more. So that's a positive thing. We can take advantage of that. So try to look at the positive side there. And we can just do a quick comparison with the iPhone 7 Plus here. So As you can see, I had the all black, the matte black version here, not the jet black. So I want to go with something different. I haven't had a white iPhone in a long time. I've gone with the all black for a while now, so I've gone with something different. The white face, I'd rather have a black face, but it's okay, it's something different. And from the back, there you go. Looks exactly the same, just so you get a glass back here instead of the metal back there. On the 7 Plus, you don't have this FCC information here, so that's kind of nice, a lot cleaner on the new iPhone 8 Plus there, but otherwise everything else is the same. You're going to have the button placements in the same for your volume and your ringer switch. Speaker grills, types, lightning port, on the bottom, all the same place. SIM card tray, power button, same place. Antenna lines, all in the same place. So, like everyone knows, no real design change, just that glass back with wireless charge there. And they say it is the most durable glass on a smartphone, so we'll see about that. We'll see how many people are going to be walking around with cracked iPhone 8s and 8 Pluses on both the front and the back. We'll see. Maybe it is more durable. They say it is aerospace grade, so hopefully that's true. Hopefully, if you drop your iPhone, you're not going to be walking around with a fully cracked phone on the front and the back. It's still IP67 water and dust resistant and certified, so that's like 3 feet for 30 minutes versus 5 feet for 30 minutes, which is IP68, so it's IP67. That's the difference there. Other changes here on the 8 Plus, you've got an improved camera. So it's pretty much the same specs, but Apple says it's a different sensor. It's a larger and faster camera sensor, so that's good. Should let in more light. They've got a new color filter, and I've heard other people have been saying that their photos are coming out a little bit more saturated, so I'll test that and see if I notice a difference between the 7 Plus and how the 8 Plus are processing photos now. Deeper pixels, don't really know what that really means. They have added some more frame rates here to your video recording options. So now, actually let's go check that out. If you go into settings, and this is the thing that still bugs me. I'm pretty sure in iOS 11, I'm going to bet that your camera resolution, video recording resolution are still in the actual settings menu and not in your camera app, which kind of sucks because if you want to change it on the fly, you've got to exit the camera, come into your settings to make that change, and then you actually have to find it, which should be under photos and camera. Actually, that's nice. They've separated out. It used to be called photos and camera. Now it's just photos and camera separately. And of course, I tapped the wrong one, but there you go, camera. And we can now record at slow motion, 1080p, 240 frames per second. So that's nice. It used to be 720p slow motion. Now you've got 1080p slow motion recording. So I look forward to testing that out. And on the main video, you've got some additional settings here as well. You got 4K and 24 frames per second, which is nice for that cinematic looking video. And you got 4K at 60 for that ultra smooth, maybe too much motion type of video, but it looks very real to life. So this is kind of like your 120 hertz refresh rate on your TV. That really looks kind of creepy with a lot of motion going on. I still haven't gotten used to that. That's kind of what 4K at 60 is probably going to look like, so I think it's going to take some getting used to. And that's just going to be a matter of taste. I think if you're shooting a lot of motion, you're probably going to want to dumb that down to 30 frames or probably 24 frames per second. But things like shooting YouTube videos of phones and stuff where there's not a lot of motion or human motion, I think 4K at 60 is going to look pretty cool. So I look forward to testing that out as well. Other changes that Apple has made under the hood is in their processor. They've got a brand new A11 Bionic processor. It's a hexa-core processor. Really don't like that name, A11 Bionic. I'm not really sure that Bionic was necessary, but hey, you got to brand it somehow. Again, it's a hexa-core processor. They say there's 4 efficiency cores, which are up to 40% faster than the previous A10 Fusion. The other 2 cores are performance cores that are supposedly up to 25% faster than the A10 Fusion. So we'll see. I mean, this has been benchmarking at MacBook speeds, so it's definitely got a lot of horsepower under the hood. And that's pretty much to power their vision for augmented reality or AR. So really need that power to power AR, so we'll see what developers do with that AR kit. We saw that virtual or augmented reality game that they showed in the keynote. That looked kind of odd, you know, playing games in AR, you got to move around a lot. Maybe at least kids get some exercise that way, but I don't really see myself doing a lot of that stuff. But I'll definitely test it out when they're out just to see what it's like. I'm open-minded. And one more thing probably worth mentioning with that A11 Bionic chip is that they have a new performance controller. So it should enable improved power efficiency. And that's going to come in handy because they've actually reduced the battery size from 2,900 milliamp hours in the iPhone 7 Plus down to 2,675 milliamp hours in this iPhone 8 Plus. So they've reduced the battery size a little bit to pack in a little bit more into the same frame. And there should be some increased power efficiency with this new A11 Bionic chip. So Apple says it nets out to be the same battery life and performance that you're getting from the iPhone 7 Plus. So even though it has a smaller battery, none of it is, you should still get the same battery life you're getting on the iPhone 7 Plus. So I'll test that out. I've had no problem getting through a full day on my iPhone 7 Plus with usually about 30% left. So we'll see what I get here on the iPhone 8 Plus. So hopefully we don't really feel the impact of that drop in battery capacity. But what's also really cool is the architecture here. So now it has a dedicated ISP or image signal processor in here. And that combined with the A11 chip really enables things like real-time image and light processing. So that's their portrait lighting feature here that's supposedly in beta. From what I've seen, not a lot of people are getting good results with it, but I'll test it out. And it should also provide some nicer image quality, hopefully, with a dedicated ISP on there, combined with that A11 chip with a new sensor. I'm hoping for noticeably better photos, but we'll see compared to the iPhone 7 Plus if it's worth upgrading to the 8 Plus just for the cameras alone. Who knows? Other things that they changed is that they have True Tone display now, so they did not have their True Tone technology in the display. So if we go into settings, display and brightness, you're going to now see True Tone there. So not everyone likes True Tone. What this does is with it off, it's going to be kind of blue, and that LCD blue kind of tone all the time. When you turn it on, it adapts to the ambient light, makes it look what Apple says more like kind of natural paper. So it's not so blue, not so bright. It'll adapt to the ambient light to make it a little bit easier on your eyes. Not everyone kind of likes this. I think it depends on the kind of lighting that you have around. So I'll leave it on for now. I use True Tone, but depending on the lighting, it can get a little bit weird. Sometimes I turn it off. But that is now there on the iPhone 8 Plus. And just some little odds and ends. Apple says they've improved the speaker quality, so the speakers are louder here. They do have that dual speaker on the bottom end through the earpiece, so they say their speakers are now louder here. Other little changes under the hood is that it now has USB 3.0. Supposedly the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus only had USB 2.0, so a little bit better USB throughput there. It's got Bluetooth 5, so that brings it with parity with the other flagships. Bluetooth 5 basically gives you a longer Bluetooth range of up to 800 feet away from your device, connected device. And the main thing is you can connect up to 2 devices at the same time. So things like 2 speakers or 2 headphones. You want to share your headphones with somebody, you don't need that dongle and the splitter anymore for wired headphones. You can just have 2 Bluetooth headphones outputting the same music. Same thing with 2 different speakers in your house. So that's pretty cool with Bluetooth 5 there. That just brings it onto parity with some other flagship phones out this year, but that is new in the iPhone 8 Plus. And of course, iOS 11, which you can get on your other iOS devices. You get all the benefits of iOS 11 here on the 8 Plus as well. So a little bit more changes under the hood than maybe some may have thought. We'll see if all those changes add up to an overall better experience between the 8 Plus and the previous generation 7 Plus. But my gut feeling is probably not. And I think this is really more meant for folks who are upgrading from an older iPhone like a 6, 6S, or 5, or even older. This will definitely be a very nice upgrade if you don't want to wait for the X, or you don't want to spend the extra money for the iPhone 10, sorry. I think it's a very nice upgrade for folks like that. Some folks who want the latest and greatest, sure, go ahead and upgrade it. But if you get a 7, 7 Plus, probably not necessary. But I do think it's probably a nice upgrade for folks with older iPhones. And I think really the naming convention on the iPhone 8 is probably throwing people off. I think people, with it being called iPhone 8 instead of like a 7S, people expecting more of an upgrade than they're getting. So maybe if Apple just called it an iPhone 7S, it's got the same incremental upgrades that you would get on every S-cycle iPhone, and I don't think people would be too upset about that. I think those incremental upgrades are in line with an S upgrade, and I think that naming convention is just upsetting some folks, or at least giving them some ammunition to get upset at Apple for not giving them a bigger upgrade, especially in design in an iPhone quote-unquote 8 and 8 Plus. But you are getting that design upgrade in the iPhone 10 or iPhone X, that bezel-less design, so if you want to wait for that, good luck getting your hands on one of those. But I think that's going to do it for this unboxing of the iPhone 8 Plus for me. If you have any other questions or comments, anything else you want to see, I'm going to do my usual camera comparisons and all that kind of stuff. But if you've got any other requests, let me know in the comments. And always, thanks for watching.